Hello YouTube, Drake Clawfang here. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Philly Fantasy VI. And we start off right in the fight. And as you can see, following up from the last part, Flash Sentry has done what he does best and stolen all the waifus. Now we have to go find our fourth waifu, Twilight. Seriously? Freeze them. Oh yeah, that's a thing now. Here we go. Seriously? Pardon me. Welcome to our Let's Play Philly Fantasy VI while listening to Drake's nasal secretions. So, as I'm sure most people know, hang on. Oh yeah, no. If you come here in with Sabin and Edgar in the party, or in this case Celestia and Luna, you'll get an optional scene where Sabin leaves the party, or Luna rather, and you can rest here for an optional scene. Also, if you put Celestia as the party leader, you get a discount from the merchants. And this is one of the first major balance changes I made to weapons here. The drill was moved to the world of ruin, but was not like depowered. Well, the debilitator was moved from the world of ruin to here, because picking on elemental weaknesses and resistances is something that could be useful here. Let's buy some of these just in case. Never again. Yeah, it's just, we moved to this earlier point in the game where your offense is a bit more limited. And I think it'll do a lot more, it gains a lot more uses. And apparently it can be used, someone mentioned a boss later in this part that will probably be coming in the next part of the LP. You can use it to change the boss's attack patterns indirectly. Which was not my intent, but it's good, it works. It's cool. Yes, once again, the castle does not burrow, it teleports. Totally. Pardon me. So now let's rest. I'm gonna start making use of this mute button on my headset when I have to sniff. DM Pwn 3000, and it just said to me, I just got the pun of the name there, DM Pwn 3000, that, I like that. But, he mentioned this is one of his favorite scenes in the game for the, depth it gives to Celestia and Luna, and I really agree, like, up until we got a royal problem, the show was very, very light on depth for the two of them. And, they're sisters. And even if they have are immortal and have known each other for decades, and Celestia has 1,000 years of wisdom and dealing with people to call upon, they're sisters, you know. There should be some sort of family dynamic to them. But we don't really see that in the show up until A Royal Problem. And even then, you know, like, A Royal Problem was amazing. I think it's one of the better episodes of the series. One of the best, possibly. But, you know, that was focusing on them in conflict. I'd like to see how, like, another episode of how the two sisters complement each other, and how their various attitudes and styles and personalities can work off of each other when they aren't at odds. Pardon me, I have to... I'll be right back. So of course the trick here is that Edgar, in the original game, Edgar uses a two-headed coin basically to trick Sabin. He rigs the coin toss in Sabin's favor so that Sabin can win and do what he wants, but Edgar gets to stay. And I don't know why they did that. Like, just say, you know, you go, I'll take care of the burden, you know? Like, there's no reason they couldn't. It's just, this was this big secret thing. Also, let's not ask how, Sabin / Celestia... Oh, let's not ask how Edgar snuck into the curtains without Sabin noticing. Celestia at least can teleport. Another little nitpick of mine with this scene in the original game, Edgar says, it's been 10 years. Okay. Catch it so that this scene is optional. You can see it in the World of Balance and the World of Ruin. So, you know, I just want to nitpick and be like, well, did it happen 10 years ago from the World of Balance or 10 years ago from the World of Ruin? You know? And again, this is what I mean, like, you know, complimenting each other. Celestia feels that she should have been more proactive like Luna and that, but Luna, you know, so you had a point. You can abandon Kent a lot, you know. They were both right and they were both wrong in their own ways. Also, just a random note while I'm doing this. Cadence does use a modified Celestia sprite from Pony Fantasy. Like, most of the characters have had their sprites modified by Vital Fox. But when I was first working on the game and designing the sprites, Cadence just got a modified Celestia sprite. Later modified with a couple animations from Luna. I remember particularly her angry sprite when we get to the Opera House stuff, you know, like there's a few times when Celes is angry, but it doesn't look right with Celestia's angry sprite, which is sort of like a wink and a wave of the hoof. Which I think does kind of work for Celestia, you know, she's not going to be outwardly angry like that. Cadence would be, so I changed hers to a modified Luna angry sprite. Pardon me. I hate this cold winter weather. My respiratory system and my respiratory problems do not like it. And now we're at the colon again, but first let's go far to the north. Because all the way up north here, long walk. And flash, that flash does magic damage, so it has variable advantages over the auto crossbow. Something else I think I mentioned before with going the Gilda fight, I feel like the original game has a lot of superfluous abilities, and a good example is that ability, Sonic Boom. The original game has a variant ability called Shim Sham, and they're both gravity-based attacks, but I think like one of them has a slightly different damage multiplier, and I'm like, you don't really need both of these. Like, I think the damage multiplier was like 12 versus 14 or 15 or something like that. You don't need the big, huge differences like that. So yeah, we come up here and we get a hero ring, which boosts fight and magic damage. And we'll give that to Flash, because he's using both physical and magical attacks now, and reminds me. Yeah. And that's, once again, something else I dislike, that numerous equipment pieces with HP boost effects can't stack. I would have liked them to be able to. Would have made for some more noticeable stat differences between the characters. And then again, this is the difficulty spike showing up here that the enemies, training wheels are off. The enemies, they can do a little bit of damage to you, and they have some decent HP too. Put this back at the top. Just rearrange my stuff. Come on. I wish I use open broadcast software. I wish I could record a microphone and microphone and PC audio to different tracks. I'd like to be able to edit my own voice clips outside of the game audio. Like all that said, this has actually been a learning experience. This is my first LP. I've never LP'd something, so I'm learning, how to set everything up, how to watch my voice, how to position the microphone near my mouth properly so you don't get puffs of air on it, but I get the right volume. And that's a new piece of dialogue for 2.0. Just wanted to add, like I mentioned, shortly you'll see this attack on the town. So, I just thought, this would be a neat little thing to add to explain the backstory for this. There's a joke. Someday I'll make it. This old mare saying she wants to be an opera star. Someday she'll pull it off. Yeah, yes, she would be. Orbital ring, cloud diet. Yeah. So many shields. Get Celestia the Jeweled Veil. Now you keep the wing pike. Damn, I'm poor. I don't think any enemies coming up use dragon, but better safe than sorry. Random note, this sprite here is also in the shop. I just like this sprite among the NPCs. I don't know why. I think because like it reminds me of watermelon with the light green and the pink. You know, and I like watermelon. You know, like the watermelon sour candies. Yeah, we get the Gale Chiffon for Flash. And I already forgot, what does it do? Yeah, randomly evades. The random evade effect is something completely separate from the evasion stat. It's something built into the Guardian or main Gauche weapon in the original game where the character will randomly evade physical attack regardless of evade stat. So you stack that on top of evade and it gives you an extra chance. And I ended the last part by mentioning this. The bane of my existence. The lock flashback. I could do the whole rest of the video talking about this. I'll try to keep it succinct. Basically, during development, someone pointed out, you know, this flashback doesn't make sense. You know, why would Sunset want to save Flash from a bridge collapsing when he's a Pegasus? You know, he'll just fly. So I had the idea, we'll add some falling rocks and she's saving him from the rock slide. Turned out to be a lot harder than I expected. It was one of my first attempts at event editing, and I simply had no clue what I was doing. So first I had to add those rock sprites to the map and then get them to animate properly to fall. And in that, a million things went wrong. You know, Sunset didn't move properly, Flash didn't move properly, the rocks fell at the different times. Like, I had one point the rocks fell one at a time, the bridge didn't fall under them, the rocks didn't fall along with Sunset. I remember somehow, I don't know how I did this, because, you know, there's no sense of gravity in the game, it's just sprites on the screen going where the game tells them to go. I had Sunset push Flash out of the way, and he flew back and fell down the other side of the platform, which made me laugh out loud. I really wish I just recorded a video of that, or saved a copy of that ROM. But yeah. So I had a lot of mess, you know, we have to put a jump into data, look to this empty point in the data where I'm going to put the animation for the rocks now and then jump back. I've had the flashback hang at the mountain scene in various places. I've had people come back here and then they're unable to leave the house. So just a bunch of chaos. Getting it to work in the first place. But okay, I got it to work. Ready to play through the game for the first time on my beta. Play through the game, get to Mount Colts, which is the scene where that flashback takes place. And the rocks are there. I have to figure out how to hide the rocks when the flashback isn't happening. Which I recall wasn't too hard because, you know, Rachel's sprite or Sunset sprite has a similar thing set up where her sprite doesn't appear outside the flashback. But okay, set the rocks up so they don't appear, fine. Play all the way to the end of the game when Discord is, you know, like, doing his thing. And a part where he's supposed to, like, raise a spire of rock from his tower, it turns into a gobble of sprites. And I'm like, what the heck happened there? And I posted on FF6 hacking, like, I did not edit this in any way. I don't know what's going on. And they're like, well, it looks like you did edit it. So I went looking, and I actually recognized the hex code. It was the lock flashback. I had moved the stuff for the rocks moving to the end of the Discord scene because I thought it was blank data. It was a string of 0s, 0s, and 01s. I assumed that meant blank data. It did not mean blank data. So I had to relocate that again, put the Discord flashback stuff back, change the jump point in the data during the flashback originally, get it all working again over and over. Just pain in my ass over and over. Like, really, I think I'm pretty sure, like, I spent, like, a week trying to get that flashback to work in the first place. And then there was those two complications that sprang up and I actually played through. So yeah, like really the three biggest problems I encountered in this hack: the palettes, constantly moving around the palettes and changing on the colors on the palettes to allow proper palette swappings. Then the disguises during the Flash's scenario, and the flashback, and the rocks. I hate them so. Oh, and an extra complication. Remember how I said that a spot in the ROM of Blink Data is overwritten by the editing program I use when I save the ROM in it? Well, guess what, smart SMRT guy that I am, guess where I decided to relocate my lock flashback? Yep. So also for a period of time, every time I edited the ROM, I had to go back and manually reinsert the lock flashback. I had to initially hex dump the data and then reinsert it every time I saved. So yeah, Fluttershy is here. I forgot to show this off. And you can recruit her for 3,000 bits if you want to. In the original game where Shadow will leave randomly... That was odd. Why did Flash do that? I want to risk again, I'm just curious. Huh. Wonder why Flash stood there a little second longer. I haven't noticed that. Weird. Anyway. So Flash Shadow would run from battles randomly. And that includes this part of the game. And I don't know why the developers thought this was a good idea. Because one of the next area we revisit is one, in the original game anyway, is one of the hardest in the whole game. And it's not a place where you suddenly want to be down a party member and have to go through it with only 3 pair characters. At which point you're left with trying to do that, or you just have to walk all the way back to Nosh to reform your party again. And, you know, there's a chocobo down in Jador and south of the castle to make it not so bad. But still, you know? Pain in the ass. I apologize for them. It does remind me of one other minor changes. Apparently, south of the Figaro Castle, when it's in its normal position, there's a chocobo stable. I removed it for this hack because you can visit this chocobo stable in Twilight and Celestia scenario and see Zecora riding a chocobo. And because in the original game, Banon/Zecora doesn't have a chocobo riding sprite. Because the guest characters, you're not supposed to be able to ride chocobos with them. But they can, in one instance, the developers overlooked that, and Banon, he turns into a gobbled mess that I believe is made up of Espatera's sprite. Because in the data, Espatera's sprite is the sprite directly after Banon's. So since the chocobo riding sprites is one of the last sprites, the game looks, it's just like, looks at the next chunk of data it can find, which is stuff for Espatera. You know, I just had a random idea for a fanfic where upon her first transformation with Tri-Touch, Terra can't transform back into her whole human form and she has to cope with looking like an Esper for the rest of her life. I'll also just toss out there in that, my humble opinion, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Espatera is hot. That's cute, wakes her up and puts her back to sleep in the same breath. Oh, come on! That's one thing I hate in these games, putting them to sleep resets the ATB. Burn them all! Once again, this is the stat bonuses coming into play, although they're not too extreme yet, with Celestia having a bit high, quite a relatively speaking, she has like 33% more MP than Cadence because of her own innate higher MP plus an MP boosting item on her. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, it works out to 2 or 3 extra spells. That's a lot of enemies, I don't trust them. Well, I got the para sprites at least, or the mini sprites. Come on, Flash, your time to shine. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4 bits. That's actually a good amount. I need to replenish my funds. Won't be a problem coming out. Remember, enemies in the next dungeon leave a lot of money, which is quite ironic, especially ironic in this hack with what those enemies are, or what the enemies are and what the location is. There we go. And here we are, Trottingham. And I actually picked Trottingham for a reason. Because if you look at the official map of Equestria, and I did, Trottingham is the easternmost city and the one closest to Griffinstone. So I thought, you know, if this is going to be the kingdom that's near Griffinstone in my hack, it makes sense to have that, you know, be Griffinstone, or be the same town. And here we have the character exclusive armors. The light salon has the random evade effect. You know, I don't know if it stacks if you have multiple copies of it. I did not actually test that. It's very hard to test because, you know, it's randomly selected. Oh, we have the jewel salon, we have the light salon, you know, boost speed and evade as well. Flash and cadence much more evasive. That's one item I don't get too much use out of the refresher. It cures 3 main statuses enemies use a lot, but it can't be used outside of battle. And it's like the compromised remedy. I took the remedy out of a lot of early shops and replaced them with the refreshers as like a remedy light. It is. That's another design I like. It's like mint chocolate mane. Steel weapons. So we'll buy a steel spear, steel claw we have, steel katana for Applejack. We don't need it yet. Cadence, no. I want you to have the stat boost. So yeah, we just need the steel spear actually. Why does holding a spear make you faster? It's Equestria, that's why. Why not? I remember also from Pony Fantasy VI, I couldn't always tell like if these guys were supposed to have mains or helmets. I was never really completely sure. I ended up going with mains. And that's another little bit of dialogue at 2.0. Why isn't this place been taken control of? Well, you know, because Samba doesn't care about it. And this is the auction house. We'll come back here last year. Yeah, and they insult your appearance in the original too. Even if you're King Edgar in his royal robes, they insult your appearance. And this is new to 2.0. Lyra and Bonbon are here. And if you, we'll come back to the opera later. I won't spoil, like the auction later, I won't spoil why I think Lyra is a perfect choice for this thing, actually. Okay, kid, move. What are you, the greeter? Yeah, it sells the same stuff, status stuff. 2 for a pin, a bit more expensive because, you know, Petrify and Dragon more important than stuff like Blind and Poison. And let's visit the art gallery. And this is a hint, you know, Cadence. What? The opera was its own little conundrum of how to adapt it to this hack. And that's not ominous at all. Yeah, and in the original game, Ultros is here too. Why? And yes, a mayor. You know, not a human at all, because that's part of, and it's, you know, it's because that's a mayor, and it's absolutely not because it's part of the background, which are compressed graphics, and I have no way to edit that. That's definitely not the reason. It's because that is a picture of a mayor. Yeah. Okay, do I want to walk? Yeah, let's walk. You know, I changed my mind. Let's, no. Need to keep the party strong. That's one thing I hope to avoid, and for a balance point, the idea that you need to level grind. Like, I want to, like, come at it from the perspective of, if you just walk from place to place, and don't run from enemies too much, and just, you know, fight to keep your levels strong, and you keep your party learning spells, you'll be fine. You shouldn't have to feel that you have to level grind in order to complete the game. At least that's the design philosophy for the first half of the game. Proper design philosophy for the second half of the game is more difficult by nature of how the second half of the game is structured. Sorry, pardon me a moment. I had a bug on my desk. Why do these distractions keep happening when I'm trying to LP something? You know, I'm wondering what Rydell made the cutie mark on the brawlers. I'm wondering what he made it. Kind of looks like a Hadouken. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. I do remember he based them specifically on Street Fighter characters, so maybe it is the Hadouken. Well, how about 100 hand slap? How about that? Well, 100 hoof slap. When you really think about it, like, Blitz is just an odd mechanic these days, you know, or like looking back, because, you know, at the time I know it was designed to homage Street Fighter, and particularly with how several of Sabin's moves seem to copies of Street Fighter moves. But it's just so weird looking back on it now, having to input real-time button commands to perform the attacks. And then they made Zell homage it, so, you know, it's a bit less strange, but still. I guess it does give it, you know, a unique balancing factor compared to some other skills in the game, you know, instead of having to wait to charge it up or pay MP to use it or something, you know, you have to input the button command, and the more difficult the command is, the more powerful You can make more difficult commands for more powerful blitzes. Blah, 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 blah. Long tide. Praise the sun. Welcome to Griffinstone. Just mirrors the sound off. Trying to remember how to affect sound in this. Okay, I'm gonna cut this. I have to check something with sound channels. Okay, I'm back. I think I did turn a sound channel off by accident. I think I turned it back on now. Although by the spear sound effect, I should have flash attack normally because the spear sound effect sounded particularly off. And man, this guy is really resistant to physical attacks. I guess it makes sense. It is Iron Will. There, that sounds better. Okay, I figured it out. Troubleshoot on the fly. So let's just set the Minotaur on fire. Actually, pretty nice. Ow. Yeah, as a kid, I hated Zozo so much because this is when you really do hit that first difficulty spike. You get enemies that cast Vanish on themselves, which you probably haven't encountered before. You know, enemies start using magic on you regularly, and it's just a real mess if you come in and you're not prepared for this. And I'm more merciful to you in this game, because I give you Celestia and Cadence as spellcasters. I don't know how you expected to be able to come here without Celeste in the original game with no spell casting and no way to group heal the party when you're facing enemies that can cast magic against you like that. That actually was a pretty big change to balance for this part of the game, the fact that you have two mages with you that you can take. You know, that really heavily impacts how the gameplay balance goes. You have your options expanded like that. Now you'd have to pointedly avoid taking Celestia and Cadence with you. The scammer sprites in the back, they were derived from a vector I used of a griffin that I found online. There was a placeholder graphic during beta, and then for this, the final version, Rydell Fox just turned it and cleaned up some of the graphics around it a bit, the edging around it to make it look a bit more like a proper sprite. And it, you know, it's still a perfectly good design, I don't mind at all. You know, it's a good looking griffin sprite, it was a good looking vector. $6.10.50. The catch is that you're supposed to talk to everyone in town, and because everyone lies, you know, process of elimination, you like keep track of what time they tell you, and process of elimination, you figure out what the time is from what they don't tell you. Which, yeah, I think it's just kind of dumb. Like, the trick is that everyone constantly tells you that Zozo is full of liars and you can't trust them. But you know, you're not. I don't think you're gonna figure that out if you're playing, especially if you're a younger person playing this game. So there's the chainsaw. DM Pwn 3000. Remember this? Good times. Chainsaw is... can't view it, that's odd. Chainsaw is still here. I think I gave it a power nerf compared to the original game, but I did keep it around. This is supposed to be Gabby. The one friendly griffin is Gabby, because of course she is. But anyway, you know, I was content to keep the chainsaw in at this part of the game, though, because really, the chainsaw is the worse than the drill. I forget which one of them has the higher power in the base game, but the chainsaw has the chance of like 25% of the time, on average, it'll become an instant kill attack. which can be good or bad, especially when you're facing bosses or enemies immune to instant death. So I feel like that chance to have it do nothing against the boss, you know, balanced the chainsaw out a bit for this part of the game, so I was content to keep it in. And like I said though, I think I did tweak its power a bit. Let's show it off. And that's another minor thing I changed in the throwing weapon effect that some weapons have in the original game. It got a power boost against flying enemies. I made that power boost them all. Don't know if this is developer content, but coming up here you can get our little final boss preview in the upper right there, and doesn't she look familiar? We'll get to her shortly. It was Rydell's idea. I remember, I think I asked him for a couple sprites for this, and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do all Griffinstone." So he made about a couple of new Griffin sprites and added in the game himself, which I really do appreciate. You know, have this place actually populated by Griffins. I was considering, you know, like kind of like the Diamond Dogs, maybe put the Griffins around other locations, maybe particularly in the World of Ruin, where the outlaws are more like Diamond Dogs are more common. Maybe there's more Griffins hanging around. But you know, I didn't. And as a change, the Slime Dancers can cast elemental magic against you, and they are immune to elemental magic. Come on. Chainsaw. Woo! Yeah, see, that's still a very good boost. And ooh, they dropped a Zephyr Cape. Nice. Okay, so let's go to the main area. Also, I do like my idea that, you know, the Griffins can fly around between buildings, so that's why they've built such skyscrapers here. Otherwise, how did the Thieves of Zozo build this place? These huge skyscrapers, which are really like nothing, no other architecture you see elsewhere in the game except for Kefka's Tower. So how did like a bunch of poor thieves build this place? Okay, Flash, you know what you did a second ago to that Minotaur? Do the same thing to this one. Or not. You know what? Do it, Luna. Send him to the moon! Okay, he survived. Take a chainsaw to him. Yeah. As I said, enemies here leave a lot of money. Very ironic, I think, that the Griffin enemies leave a lot of money. The guy in the original game is just kind of coy. Nope, no girls here. I gotta make this one much more obvious. Nope, no alicorns, and definitely not at the top of this building. Plausible deniability. That was quick. Good work, Flash. Yeah. So many Griffins. Yeah, I bet that's another joke of mine that I added in. think I saw something before we came into the battle. I have to go check that now. Ah, spray pixel under his arms, under the arms. You know, I know Rydell has fixed that before, because I've pointed it out to him before. I'll have to find his patch that he sent me after this. That is the one thing that's annoying with the ROM. You work on so many versions, so many backups and all that, it can be difficult to keep track of what changes you made sometime. I should keep better documentation. What do you want? Uh-oh. Ow. And that was another joke here, you know, all the sprites are were ponies before Rydell changed them to griffins. So then you get to the guy up top. We don't serve ponies here. Oh shit. So let's just set them on fire. Thank you. Actually, this reminds me, because I wanna check, I'll cut this. Okay, just a bit of a cut there. I made a save state, because when I'm done I wanna go check that Griffin sprite thing again. Again, this isn't just an LP, this is developer commentary, so if I notice something during the game, I will, let you know. I'm gonna go back and change it. Parry dagger, what's that? Oh, that's my version of the main Gauche, I bet. Really? Who can use that? Oh. Well, that's of no use to us then. As a kid, I had no idea that this is what you're supposed to do. Do you mind? I am trying to explain something here. Nice. That's good. I had no idea this is what you're supposed to do to progress. You have to go here and jump between the buildings. As a kid, I didn't know that my game stalled here until my cousin, who was older than me and owns this game, clued me in. Why can I never get that one right? It's always Moonbolt. I can get the others right. I can send people to the moon, but I can't blast them with moonlight. I'm just gonna stick to Hoof Rush. I can't even get that right, of course not. And again. There we go. By the way, why are there Minotaurs in Griffin's Stone? Where else would they be? Like, why not? Why not? Minotaurs in Griffin's Stone. You know? That's why the Griffins are poor. They need a Cerberus training. I really need to just give up. That's something else I haven't mentioned with, well, I thought, maybe I have mentioned it, but, Luna's blitzes are all, or Alicorn skills are all famous, are all video game cheat codes. Down Y, down Y, it's the bonus level thing for Donkey Kong Country, Diddy. XXY is, I think it's XXYYBA is the thing to play bonus levels in Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. Like I mentioned, right up A is a thing from some Mortal Kombat game, I don't fully remember. You know, and you know, if you're gonna talk about video game cheat codes, there's one that everyone knows, and of course it's the combination for her Ultimate Blitz. What else would it be? Like, that is one thing, like Pony Fantasy 6 just did that one, but you know, as a neat little nod and wink to Gamer Luna, it makes perfect sense that Luna's Alicorn skills are all cheat codes. You know, like, that's just awesome. Heal up your sister, Celestia. Ow. I do find it interesting that the Minotaur, like, shaking the ground does more damage than the actual freezing. Chug some cider. Keep that MP up. It's almost time. Top of these stairs. Slam Dancer by itself and... oh, nope, it brought company. Thugs. Well, there's an enemy formation I hadn't seen yet. Let's kill these guys first. Cadence needs a bit more MP, and once again with the low MP cost, you know, we can actually maybe get some use out of Runic in this hack. Especially in this early game. The one exploit I found by accident, I had never thought of doing this in the original game, is when Cadence, it was during the Siege of Nation or some playthrough of the game, Cadence ran out of MP, and the idea I had was have her Runic, while Scootaloo uses magic using emulates, and she casts a spell for free, and Cadence will Runic it for a free MP refill. I enjoy unorthodox, but, you know, practical strategies like that in games. We've been going 50 minutes? Wow, I didn't think it'd been that long. Stop healing yourself and die. Take a chainsaw to him, maybe that'll do the trick. Hey, what do you know? And one thing I did consider is for 2.0 is also adding a save point somewhere, like, but then I'd have to edit an interior somewhere to make it in there, which is data that would have to go towards maps, which I might not have to spare. And it's, again, getting into map editing, which I'm not opposed to. You know, I've done it before, but I prefer not to because I don't want to mess up something by accident, because I really don't know anything about map editing at all still. But yeah, I did consider, you know, putting in a save point before Gilda decided against it. You know, it's okay. Come on. There we go, no magnitude 8, good. And boss time. And again, in this original hack, Gilda before was a completely separate character from Gilda here. I merged them together to give the Empire like a recurring minor antagonist in the first part of the game, besides Discord. And I think it works, you know. If Gilda's an advanced scout for Sombra, you know, she'll be a scouting out South Figure in that area for him to look for the main force base, and then here, of course, she'll be with the Griffins. One thing that wasn't intentional as a result of making Gilda, combining the three characters, is that you can see her battle strategies like evolve as she goes on. Like here she has Wind Slash and it's stronger, and she once again has supporters she can call in, but whereas she started with 2 bears before that didn't respawn, now she has an endless supply of supporters in Scammers that can appear. If she summons them before I kill her, and once again, that's the chainsaw's balance factor kicking in. There they are. But yeah, so she starts off with bears for the first fight, and the second fight she has Scammers, which are much more sophisticated than the bears. And the third fight she once again has 2 helpers, which are different from the one in the original game out of necessity, because in the original game they were like blades that attached to a main monster. It doesn't work for here, but she once again has attachments that support her. So you know, it works like an evolution of her battle tactics. Not intentional, but it does work. Come on, Gilda, die. Of course they heal Gilda. I don't think Gilda's even weakened yet. She hasn't like done her healing hasting thing that she does when she's weak. And there, as I say that, come on, she's weakened. She should be going down soon. Get that cure off before Wind Slash comes again. There we go. Bye-bye. Gilda has left the building. quickly. I don't remember if you can get into fights in here, but better safe than sorry. Apple pie. Speed shoes for haste. And here we go. And here he is. I don't know why I added that line like Star Swirl, because I like retcon that, like, or like establish that Star Swirl hasn't been to the Esper world in a while, so how would he know that, about the G1 Twilight, maybe? And if he did, but wouldn't he just tell them? Anyway, yes, Star Swirl is an Esper in this continuity. Rhino Fox, I remember I don't know exactly what he did, but he had to do some sort of editing in the data in order to accommodate Star Swirl's animations properly. Something about them he couldn't get, he chose to do it at least, I guess. I don't know if he had to do it. And this is the thing, like I've mentioned to other people, really FF6's framework of story works perfectly for My Little Pony. The Great War 1,000 years ago, the Espers, as you'll soon see what I do with the Espers, the ancient sealed monsters coming back to life, and especially, as we'll see later, the Warring Triad, the three ancient warring gods, Forever and Qual. That framework just works perfectly for Pony. War of the Magi, war against Sombra. That is another thing that really bugs me, just because of how the animations work on the pony. When they close their eyes, you can see the little white pixels of the tops of their eyes are still visible. Nothing I can do about that, it's just how the sprites are cut up in the data for the animations. Just from Magitech Research Facility to the Crystal Manufactory. Just because, really. I established that, they don't just make the Magitech armor there, they make all sorts of magical weapons and armor there. And here we go, the big reveal of the hack, what the Espers actually are. And I'm sorry, but that's just perfect, Crystal Ponies, Magicite, perfect. It was Rydell Fox's idea to make them. I originally just recolored the normal Magicite sprite bluish purple. It was Rydell Fox's idea to base them on the crystals from Final Fantasy IV. And it works. Crystal is crystal to me, as far as I'm concerned. The only high thing is, later in the game when Discord, in the battle scene, turns an Esper into Magicite, because it's compressed graphics as part of a spell effect. We couldn't change that sprite, but yeah, it's fine. I don't get what that dialogue is here in either one. And technically we can leave without take... Oh no, you can't. Yeah, I think you have to take at least Star Swirls. We few can help save many. There must not be another Crystal War. Yeah, now you can leave after that. But no, let's take the other three. And here's the big reveal about what the Espers actually are in this hack. Medley, Parasol, and Gusty. So I'll talk to these guys, get this scene rolling before I go into it. But the short version is that the Espers are the G1 ponies. I don't remember where this idea came from for the Espers to be the G1 ponies. But once again, if I could take my own home, I think that's just perfect. Like that, I think that's brilliant. That works. The Espers as G1 ponies. You know, as the ancient mythical, pseudo-mythical precursors of the current ponies, we have the G1 cast. And it also allows I've never watched My Little Pony G1. Well, I have researched it though a lot for this hack. I did watch a couple snippets of episodes here and there, and I did a lot of research, like googling, like just looking up info on ponies on TV tropes and the Pony Wiki and all that. Because I have to. There's so many ponies. It's My Little Pony. So many of them. And I forgot to de-equip Luna. Oh well. Applejack, she's taking all the stuff I could have used for you. But yeah, I think the G1 ponies as I suppose just really works very well. And I do make a lot of references to G1 actually in some of them. Gusty was chosen because she has the same palette as Kieran. Parasol because bouncing around. I think I read that Parasol was kind of happy. And Medley because music and she has a hop like Cywin did. Saucewell just because. So let's just suit everyone up with an Esper. Esper level bonuses are gone in 2.0. So you don't have to worry about them anymore. They're just gone. Spike is here. He could teach us how to do Espers. I don't know why this new citizen is there, but that's how it was in the original 2. Griffinstone, never heard of it. Okay, while we're having this fight, I'll show off one thing I did for okay, never mind, I don't have an FMP. For 2.0, a couple things I did is change the sprite alignment of some of the Espers when they're summoned into battle, so that they line up better with the sprite. In 1.0, Starswirl, he has a staff and he summons waves of lightning from it, but the waves were aligned to Ramuh's original staff, and Starswirl's staff was in a slightly different position. So for 2.0, I made Starswirl appear in a slightly different place to achieve that same effect. And not too many Espers needed that done, but I did do it with a couple. Oh, and Celestial earned raise. Perfect timing. So yeah, we're well over the hour mark at this point, and that of course is a perfect stopping point. Let's rest, get everyone sleepy, tired. I know the feeling. And probably gonna take a couple days off because I have to work the next couple days, but I'll see you guys again next week for my next part of Philly Fantasy VI. That day is going to be perfect.